So it was so perfect as I was walking out here in the desert to come make this video that I ran across this little grave. And this is probably a pet, I'm imagining. And what I experienced was beauty and joy. And what a perfect way for me to actually come out and really make my first video about compassion, because it's been a complicated idea in my head. People are always saying compassion, compassion. When I was little, they were saying have compassion, have compassion, have compassion. I just didn't really understand what the hell I was doing. There wasn't any kind of tangible idea. And from what I got from people, it seemed like what I should give to them is feeling sorry for them. And I was taught in school, in Catholic school, to not pity. And that's what it felt like. I was like, I don't want pity. I don't want to give pity to other people. So what is compassion? And this is what I've come to understand about compassion. And I've always been reaching for some reason, I've always wanted to know tangibly how things work. And when I got into spirituality and into esoterics and those kind of things, my mind still wanted to have a very tangible understanding of everything, not just, that I believe in these kind of things, but that there's something concrete behind it. And so going and seeing this grave was engaging was engaging with these good feelings. Because when I went up to that grave, and I know a lot of people would be like, they would feel sorry for the person for losing their animal, which there's a little bit of that. But the first thing that came to me was the beautiful part. The first thing that came to me was, that's so beautiful. Like they honored their pet. And I felt and experienced the joy of what they must have gone through with their pet and what the pet got to experience while they were here. And so it was really a helper to make this video about compassion. What do I think compassion is? Well, I think it is tangible. It is something that we can do, and we can give this when we become an activator. So when we're doing the ego stuff, we're doing the give and take. And now we're starting to understand about the idea of being an activator and a receiver of all these things. So I'm taking this on as I'm an activator. That's what I'm here to do, is to activate. And what the hell am I tangibly activating through compassion? And so for me, the term compassion just goes to complete passion. As a Lenzafarian, what we're doing is we're looking for the good feelings, the good experiences in the world. And these things include powerful feelings like kindness, sincerity, joy. But how do these interrelate with what we would say is the tough part of being human, the grief of being human? Well, once we re-lensify things and we see things from a different point of view, and we stop judging and see how things are, and we start to engage with our grief, when we engage with our grief rather than dispersing our grief out into the world and making other people responsible for it, we begin to understand that it is the key to bringing us into these good feelings. That the love that we have for people, things, pets, these kind of things is beautiful. And when we lose these things, when they stop being part of our world, that's the grief that we experience. But when we engage with that grief, what comes through, and that is what is esoteric. So if you're watching this video and you've never seen or worked on these kind of things, I would understand that sounds very like esoteric and abstract an idea. But the thing is that it's all right there. And this is a great example with this little grave. It's like there was a lot of beauty, and there was a lot of love, and there was a lot of caring, and there was a lot of effort. There was a lot of work that went into this relationship, and we can feel that. So if we look at compassion as complete passion, then as we engage when we engage with our grief and we take it for our own instead of dispersing it back out into the world, what we find is these things live in with different engagements. So that was the engagement that I had with this pet. It was, my gosh, joy. Like, I got to experience what this person went through. And what am I giving out then? Like, this is freaking tangible. And that's what's so exciting about making this video, is it's tangible. What am I giving? I'm giving a higher vibration. I'm activating into the world a better experience of vibration, of frequency. Because if we think about pity and feeling sorry for people and passing that on, that's a very low vibrational thing. So complete passion. Looking at compassion, like when we say, so that's what I'm in for. Putting Chelsea and I have put our Lensafari overlay on us, and we are considering ourselves activators. What are we doing? But we're actually tangibly doing something. And when you want to be an activator, you're wanting to always bring up these good feelings. So when we engage with the world, we engage with other people that are going through things, it can engage within us these good feelings. And then what we can process and what we can send out is a higher vibration of higher vibrational value that we're giving to the world and ourselves. That's what is the funniest thing, is it's kind of ironic that feeling good is actually good for the rest of everybody else. In some way, there seems to be this idea in the egoverse that we are meant, that compassion is that we feel bad for people all the time. And that might be a little bit of the tweaking and getting there, because we're all engaging with grief, and that might bring up some other grief that we have to engage with. But that's the process. That's the process of raising our vibration and doing something with compassion. I don't think that the way that we engage in the mainstream mind, where we say thoughts and prayers, it's like, if something happens to me, I don't want any of that. I don't need the attention. I might need some help in some way, but what I know about most people and what's going on in their head, I don't want their thoughts. But I would love vibration to feel into. See, that's okay. I'm giving you permission now. If you want to have compassion for me, engage and feel good. Feel joy within you. Bring that up and send that out into the world. I'll take that. I'll take that all day. So compassion can be tangible. And the first step is figuring out how to engage with our own grief, with our own fears, and going through that and finding out what's on the other side, because what's on the other side is pretty darn cool. And it has to do with vibration. It has to do with frequency. It has to do with owning our part of the whole piece. And that's the thing, is that's the freedom. When we learn that the thing that we give back to the world is just doing our own work. Meaning, I don't even like calling it work. It's play when we understand what we're doing. And it seems serious at the time, and especially in the beginning of my journey. But after a while, you figure out, like, it's just a process, and you just do it. And then when you start to reap the rewards from doing that, it's like, how do you then go, oh, I'm doing the work, I'm taking this stuff seriously? It's like, no. this engagement is incredible engagement. This has taken me to places that I didn't even know within myself. So I know I'm probably going to talk more about compassion because I'm so excited about having something that I can actually tangibly talk about with this, becoming an activator. And then compassion just becomes something that we want to experience all day long, because a lot of times we think when we're put out there, if we're put out there under the idea that it's feeling sorry for somebody and matching their low vibration, like that takes work to get up during the day. But when you realize, basically, when you're an activator, you can just point your attention to something, lensify it, if that's the part you're on. Like for me, just walking up to that grave is just a natural function of how I operate now. I see a grave and it's not sadness that I feel, it's the excitement of understanding that there was this amazing relationship, or I can imagine that relationship, and the joy and the excitement and the effort that was put out to create this bond between perhaps a pet and an owner. And so at the beginning it's kind of conceptual, and we work on it. That's what Lensifarianism is just shifting the perspective so we see things in a more beautiful way. But being an activator, though, then is an exciting thing to wake up for, rather than, oh, I got to go deal with people's stuff today. That's not as fun. So anyway, I wish you well on your journey. I'm so excited about 2025, and always love feedback. So if you guys have questions or sharing things from your life, I would love to hear it.